Let's talk about Taylor and Travis. I know things are pretty heated about it. Hopefully things are calming down. I haven't commented on it yet, really, other than like in some comment sections and like in memes, because I really wanted to marinate on it and see what I really think and do my research. Just because I try to do research about anybody that I'm going to talk about. So I want to talk a little bit about Travis, and then I want to talk about PR. Now, as far as Travis himself goes, I know there are a lot of you that are not big fans of Travis, and I don't watch football. Most people in my family do, so they like watch it and talk about it. Like they were watching it and yelled at me the second that she showed up on the screen because I know I would want to know. But I didn't even know who Travis Kelce was. Of course, I didn't even know who won the Super Bowl. So, and I think people were here to watch it. So like that's how much I pay attention. And whether or not the relationship is PR or real or something in between, I don't think that Travis is that bad of a guy, honestly. I know there's some violence on the field, and I'm not excusing that at all because I think all of football is way too violent. Most sports are way too violent, and that's a whole other can of worms. But I do think that that's like football culture. Is it excusable? No, but I mean, I do think that's the culture. That's really the worst thing that I can find that he's done recently. I did see that he like did some like doping back in college, but like same. So can't judge him there. Recently, even, he is still doing commercials for COVID and has been speaking out about the vaccines since COVID. He also did a Bud Light commercial when everybody was canceling Bud Light over the Dylan thing. And he kneeled on the football field during that whole controversy. And I'm not saying that like makes him a great guy. I'm not saying that excuses anything else like whatsoever. I'm not like a Travis Kelce fan now. I'm just saying I do think that that shows character when you have a fan base like football and you're willing to lose fans and risk pushback and, you know, hate for standing up for what you believe in. And he did that. And I do think he should get some credit for that. I can't really think of three more polarizing topics right now than those three. And if we're being really honest with ourselves, he's doing more to stand up for his beliefs and convictions than Taylor is. I'm of the opinion that she is doing a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't know about. I truly do believe that. But publicly, she hasn't done much to be an advocate for any community. And since 2019, really. I mean, I do think she spoke out a lot about vaccines and stuff. So, like, I want to give her credit there, but my allergies. But when it comes to risking something to stand up for something, our girl's kind of lacking. And her most recent boyfriend is a raging racist, misogynist asshole. If Travis's most recent relationship had been with a person like that, we would definitely be holding it against him. So I don't think it's really fair for us to only point out Travis's flaws when Blondie's got some flaws of her own. She's got her own skeletons. You know what I'm saying? Love her. Obviously, I have a whole channel based on it. But, like, being realistic, you know, when it comes to the PR of everything. Could this relationship be real? Sure, totally could. That doesn't mean that this outing wasn't PR. Even a real relationship can have PR outings. And I really think that that is where a lot of people get confused. My special interest is the music industry. I've known about PR relationships and pep walks and beards and all that stuff for a decade. So to me, you can just spot things really easily, right? So for somebody like Taylor, at this point, I think it's also really hard for people to recognize that there's Taylor Swift, the brand. That's the almost a billionaire. That's the brand, right? And then there's Taylor Swift, the person. You don't get to the level that Taylor Swift is without prioritizing Taylor Swift, the brand. Okay. And very carefully cultivating this image. And any time that we see Taylor out, that's Taylor Swift, the brand, period. End of story. That's Taylor Swift, the brand. Okay. Taylor Swift, the person, like the social person who has her own friendships and her own activities and her own interests and her own life, we don't see that, period, ever. Now, we will see snippets of that. So an example would be her 4th of July party. We don't see that party. They're not filming that whole party. we'll get a few pictures. That's Taylor Swift, the brand. Taylor Swift, the person, is who's at that party, hanging out with her friends and talking about whatever they talk about, right? So every time we see Taylor photographed in those pap walks, that is PR. That is planned. Her relationship with with like Sophie, her friendship, that's not PR. They are friends. The dinner that they have together inside the restaurant, that's normal. That's Taylor the person, right? Whatever conversations they have, that's Taylor the person. I mean, unless obviously it's like a business dinner, but like that's the person. When they leave that restaurant and they've called the paparazzi and they plan that walk, they've planned their outfits, they're coordinating, they're walking arm in arm. That is PR. So I think it's really hard for people to separate the two, right? So that entire football game and, that whole interaction, driving off in the car, all that's Taylor Swift, the brand. Once they're in the restaurant and supposedly all the cameras are gone and all that, that's Taylor Swift, the person. But that can also be a combination of the two, right? It's kind of like Questlove's parties. Taylor Swift, the brand, is there, and Taylor Swift, the person, and Taylor Swift, the brand, is on whenever they are taking the photos, and, people are doing Easter eggs and all that stuff, and, maybe there's business being involved. But Taylor Swift, the person, can also come out. Like, that's the person who smokes weed and, like, hangs out with people. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. So things can be two things at once, but we don't know Taylor, the person. I know that's her whole thing, that we feel like we do, and that is why it's so easy to form a parasocial relationship with Taylor. That's why all of her fans get so personally offended if you talk bad about her. That's her thing, right? She's been cultivating that for a long time. Everything is very intentional, very intentional. Everything she wears. That's what people will say, like, oh my God, maybe she's just wearing jeans. No, Taylor Swift, the brand, does not just wear jeans. Taylor Swift, the person, can wear whatever the fuck she wants. But when Taylor knows she's going to be photographed, she's intentional about every single part of that. She's so good at it. That's why it works. She's amazing at it. I've seen a lot of people say, well, like, they're so famous, they don't need PR. And again, I think people are misunderstanding what PR is. PR is not just to make you more famous or to promote a project, right? It can be, but usually for people like as big as that's not what's happening. PR can be, it's a communication through media, right? So if there is a message they're trying to send, like Taylor sends messages through those pap walks, right? It's not a coincidence that she was seen with Sophie the day before Sophie spoke about the divorce, right? That's not a coincidence. That's sending a message. Then there is PR that can like position you a certain way, build your narrative the way that you want it to be, right? And I saw on the Shameless podcast earlier that they were saying that Taylor wants to be seen as fun right now. She's like the fun girl, and that makes sense, right? Like, she does want to be seen as the fun girl right now. She's on top of the world. She's just having fun, So PR can be used for that exact reason too. So PR can be used to position yourself a certain way, and it can also be used to reach new audiences. So if you know anything about Taylor, you know that, yes, she's on top of the world. Obviously, she has the most, we've talked about this on my channel. She has the most social power of anybody in the world right now. Does she have the most power? No. Does she have the most money? No. She has the most social power. Once you already have so much money, right? There's something that is much more valuable than money, and that's power. It's not like Taylor is just like, oh, I'm the biggest pop star in the world, like, I'm going to chill now. No, she's looking to dominate other areas now. She wants to be a director. She wants to do all of these other things, right? You do that by expanding your market. And a lot of people will say, like, oh, there's so many remarks about Taylor, like, they hate her, this isn't working for her. That's the point, right? They hate her now. The idea is to make those people love her. So go to the games, be super excited, be a Chiefs fan, like the chest bumps, all of that kind of stuff. Just sit next to his mom and his mom loves you. Like, that starts to change minds, right? And I guarantee you this isn't done. They're going to see each other again, and we're going to see this again. She's probably going to be at the next football game, and the sportscasters are going to talk about her positively. The NFL putting Taylor's version in their bio right away. All of those things are going to slowly start to shift the public's, or, the football fans' inner narrative of Taylor, right? Well, you notice that his like entire team was at that party, right? And they made sure to get like team reactions of Taylor in the box. that's not a coincidence. That is like, oh, not only Travis likes her, but Travis's mom likes her, and Travis's teammates like her, and they hung out with her, and they think she's really cool. So surely she can't be this like, controlling, frigid bitch that we think she is. You know what I mean? Like, it just starts to shift it slowly, and you have all of these misogynistic sportscasters and stuff start to speak of her more respectfully, and that is exactly why Travis would come on a podcast today and talk about how he's not going to talk about Taylor anymore. She doesn't like the media. He wants to be respectful, and that is sending the message that I'm respecting her and I want you guys to respect her too. And I mean, they're not going to like listen or get to the hint, but like gradually they're going to realize that if they don't want to like piss off Travis Kelce, like, you don't talk shit about somebody's girlfriend or somebody's mom or whatever who is beloved. You know what I mean? So he's sending a message of like, I am respecting her and I'm not going to talk about her anymore. So then slowly the talking heads, at least, are going to start speaking about her more positively. At least the ones who care about like having Travis like guest on their podcast or like whatever. If they have any hopes of doing that, and like if his teammates have podcasts, stuff like that, they are going to start speaking about her more respectfully, more positively. And they're going to control how this ends, right? So it doesn't look bad on Taylor that, they end and like she writes a song about him or whatever. They're going to control how that ends so that she is going to get the end result of shifting those narratives. Us as Swifties think like, oh my God, Charity has world domination. But there was a perfect example of this the other day in somebody who had made a post who was very active in the political realm, right? And they made a video and were like, I don't care if you like Taylor Swift or not, she really cares about politics. And here, I'll tell you why. Like, she really cares about politics. And then they talked about all the videos that she's ever made and all the statements she's ever made where she says the only like TV she watches or things that she listens to anymore is political commentary and stuff like that. And they were talking about how much she cares. And it was like 100,000 or more views. And the entire comment section was like, oh, I don't listen to Taylor, but maybe I'll start. Or, oh, I didn't like her, but this is making me think differently of her because it's really good that she cares about these issues. And, Like, I didn't know that she had a brain on her like that, like stuff like that. And so it really makes you realize and it was like hundreds, if not thousands of comments. So it makes you realize there's an entire realm of people that don't listen to Taylor, that don't, or think of her still as one way or like a young country star or whatever it is that they think, or that still just know her as like for songs that like Shake It Off or whatever. So that like really made it clear of like how many people still aren't like in the realm of like Taylor fans, even though it feels like these days everybody is. And there are still a lot of minds to be changed about her. Like, it's a lot. It's so much more than just like, oh, she went to the football game, Like, I mean, he even said in his response, like, oh, she showed up. That was really cool. Like, he was surprised. But, like, she rode to the game on the family bus. Like, did she just call up his mom? No, obviously not. Her team contacted his team. Like, that's just how that works. She didn't just, like, drive up in her own car and, like, go to the game, like that's that's so unrealistic. I just think it's really hard for like normal people to understand how that works, and you're not supposed to understand how it works. That's why PR works, but that's also how we are able to be so manipulated by media. I mean, if you think about it, Taylor has never once confirmed Jake Gyllenhaal, John Mayer, I don't even think Harry Styles. Like, she's never like spoken about it, never confirmed it. I mean, and she's not even like, we don't even have like photographs about it and stuff. So like there are a lot of things that we just assume that we know that are communicated to us through media. So, they do that on purpose. And then there are things that you just think that you believe because you feel like you know it for sure and you've seen it, but like that is what PR is. PR is communication through media manipulation, and yes, promotion and crisis management. But it's so much more than that. And that's why Tree has such an important job. It's not just like managing who gets what interview with Taylor and, you know, shutting down rumors they don't like. Like that's like 3% of her job. Most of her job is helping Taylor to cultivate this image that she has and figuring out ways that they can do that. So, moral of the story, I think she's having a lot of fun doing this, whether it's PR or not. I think it is PR, but you know, I think she's having a lot of fun and that's okay. And we can't control who she dates. I think it was different with Maddie because Maddie really was a dangerous person to platform who was really hurting a lot of other people in a lot of communities. You know, Travis is just a guy we don't like that much. And we don't get to choose who Taylor hangs out with. I do think she's having fun. I think they're friendly. They're friends. She looked wasted in that picture. And if she was wasted, then, I mean, she's at least comfortable enough to do that. So, you know, it is what it is.